Good afternoon, everyone. This is Mike Dotterer, and we are on the dot live here in North America. And if you're listening via YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, LinkedIn, happy Thursday, and it's January 2nd. And this portion of On the Dot is brought to you by Anacia and To Be Kind. We've got a great show for you next week. A week from today, we're going to have John Rainbolt, the formulator and founder of To Be Kind, and this amazing product called Anacia. And we're going to have a guest on with John. His name is Gary Russ, and he is using the Anacia product, and it's giving him amazing relief from a terrible motorcycle accident that he had some almost a decade ago. So that's our show for next week. For today, we've got a great show, but before we get to the live program, I want to wish happy birthday to my mother. It's my mom's birthday today, and even though she's not with us in spirit, she's here. And happy birthday, Mom! I also want to wish happy birthday to my good friend and fellow student from Modern Day High School, Kathy Galvin. Happy birthday, Kathy Galvin. Happy birthday, Kathy. And I also want to wish happy birthday to my good friend who I went to Stanford with and Columbia. And we went to graduate school together. He went to the business school, and he's a banker, a very good friend. I want to wish happy birthday to my good friend, John Blum. Happy birthday, John. And happy birthday to a man who taught me the power of geometric growth, and that's Mr. Jay Bennett. Was a fellow running back at Cal State Fullerton, and has been very successful in the direct sales world, probably one of the most successful guys I know, and it has a global business. And I want to thank Jay for his friendship and for helping me understand the world of direct sales and geometric growth. So happy birthday, Jay. Happy birthday to Seamus Callahan, who it's his birthday, also another modern day friend and connected with the University of Southern California, has a great family history from USC. And happy birthday to my former Stanford fellow graduate, Anthony Del Porto. Anthony, I think, is on the West Coast. Wishing you and your family a wonderful week, and hope you have a great summer. And happy birthday, Anthony. And happy birthday to my former Stanford teammate, an outstanding defensive back for the Stanford Cardinal. We were teammates back in 1979, and we had a game. I'll never forget that game at the Los Angeles Coliseum. And you were there, one of the great upsets in college football history, where we tied the USC Trojans. And Rick Parker, my teammate, happy birthday, Rick. How are you? And then finally, it's a man who, comedian, actor, and he starred on Whose Line Is It Anyway? And Let's Make a Deal. Wayne Brady. Happy birthday, Wayne. It's Wayne Brady's birthday. So with that, we've got a couple minutes left, but I want to introduce our new guest. I went out there to his facility, Spire Academy, and you can see back here. He's going to join us in a few minutes. I was amazed at this facility, this complex that they have in Geneva, Ohio. I was able to go out and get a tour from my good friend Candace Wiggins, who's one of the greatest basketball players to come out of Stanford and won a WNBA championship, and comes from an amazing sports family. And she is now the director of basketball for the women's team at Spire Academy. And I went out there this past weekend to look at the facilities, and she took me on a tour, and it's just amazing what they have there in Ohio. And if I were a young student or student athlete in Ohio, I would definitely sign up for some of their camps, because they have these camps this summer, and you can go. Actually, let me just put down below here the ticker tape. You can go to their website right down below. It says spireinstitute.org/camps. And I know that Candace is going to be doing a camp for girls basketball. and they have track and field, they have wrestling, they have an amazing swimming program. Um, they also have esports, which is very unique. And they have, I guess, drone racing. So it's an amazing facility. And our special guest, who will be on joining us in a few minutes, his name is Jeff Javorek. And Jeff has a great background. He grew up there in Ohio, and he played baseball and football, similar to what I did in college. He was a baseball football player at John Carroll University, which has a outstanding athletic program. And then he went on to the Ohio University to get his master's degree in athletic administration, and then he decided to not go into American football and not to coach baseball, which he played in college. He got involved in basketball, and I'm going to have him talk about his youth and his experience, his journey from from the playing field to coaching high school basketball, and then now he's with Spire, which is just an amazing program. So with that, I'm going to bring him on here. Jeff, welcome to On the Dot.
Mike, how's it going? Nice to be here.
Well, thanks for joining us. And Jeff, I gave you some tips about what we do on the Dot. It's not about me. Actually, I like to just listen to, your amazing journey from, playing high school baseball, football to playing it in college and then coaching and now at Spire. So the floor is yours, Jeff.
Yeah, no, it's great to be on, Mike, and it was awesome meeting you and getting to talk to you over the last couple of weeks. But yeah, I have a kind of a unique background and unique journey. The first question that everybody asks me is how did I get into basketball? Playing football and baseball in college. So grew up in Cleveland, Ohio. Was a 3-sport athlete at West Geauga High School, where I played football, basketball, and baseball. And, my goal was to play 2 sports in college. And so I went to John Carroll University, prominent Division III school in the Cleveland area. And it just kind of worked out. They were one of the few schools that was recruiting me for both football and baseball. So decided to go and become a blue streak, with the NFL pipeline, and really Division III athletics, taught me a lot and shaped me into kind of who I am as a person in terms of work ethic, dedication, commitment, and having to work for everything that you get. And while I was in college, I had a couple of connections with local athletic directors, and I started coaching high school basketball and doing some training with a huge AU organization called the National Basketball Academy, TNBA. And, from there, I kind of, got my love in terms of coaching and, coaching basketball and working in, player development. And I did that, during the off season of college. So my college years were very busy, very active. And, a lot of it is kind of, shaped me to who I am today. And then, from there, I got a master's degree in athletic administration, which kind of focuses on athletic directing at the high school and college level. Did that at Ohio University, and then kind of got my first break with through the basketball world in terms of networking and connections. And I got an internship in the NBA Development League. Back when I was in it, it was called the D League. Now it's the G League. So I moved up to Erie, Pennsylvania. The head coach at the time was Jay Larinaga. He's an assistant with the Los Angeles Clippers right now. His dad is the head coach down at Miami University down in Florida, and he played with one of my colleagues that founded TNBA in Cleveland. And so I interned with Erie, and we had just started with the New York Knicks, and then I kind of worked my way up into video coordinating, basketball operations, and then I was a full-time assistant coach with the New York Knicks NBA development team. So it was great experience, great exposure. We worked hand in hand with the New York Knicks. We would go up there for training camp. We would go up there periodically throughout the year and do some summer league stuff with them. And at that level, you're at the highest level, learning from Mike Woodson's of the world, Mike D'Antonia of the world, Kenny Atkinson, high level basketball guys. But the nice thing about the NBA Development League is, you're a jack of all trades. So just as much as I was a coach, we did a lot with the front office end. We did a lot with budgets and travel and apparel and scouting and draft prep and draft process. So you really got this great foundation of every aspect that involves with a professional basketball organization, between the front office and between being on court, coaching and working players out and player development. So it really gave me a huge credible foundation to then kind of start my basketball venture. With that, that took me overseas to Greece and Indonesia to run basketball camps and work with their national teams. And then my I got married at the time, and my wife was like, I'm not about to move around to all these cities and all these small towns. Let's get back to Cleveland, and got married, started a family. I went down to the college level, where I was coaching at Lake Erie College, which is a Division II school in Ohio. And then I got a random call about taking over at my alma mater, West Geauga High School. So took the job there. Had to get a real world job, so I did a little bit in the headhunting recruiting space. But I always still had a passion to work full time in sports, basketball specific. And I always trained, I always coached, I always worked players out. It took me, basketball has taken me across the world. And now I'm here today at Spire. It's been a crazy journey. And I fell into something right in my backyard in Cleveland that I never knew really about. And I'm back to full-time working in sports, which is what my end goal is to be in that type of profession.
Well, you have packed in so much experience in such a short period of time, Jeff. It's amazing what you've done, where you've come from, and now you're here at Spire. And as you can see, I've got the
I like it.
I'm a Spire cheerleader now. And, you just had, I guess just last week, you hosted the NCAA track and field championships.
Yep. So we hosted the Division III national championship. There was, over 1,000 athletes, 5,000 spectators for their outdoor season, and it was an awesome experience. Watching all these young men and women, strive at their highest level for national championships. It was a really cool event. It's the cool thing about being a part of Spire is there's always something wild, crazy, and big going on. This weekend we're hosting the team trials for the USA Wrestling U23 and U20 team trials for the next Olympics. So there's there'll be 1,000 wrestlers over the course of this weekend coming through. So we always say never a dull moment here at Spire. Mike, you're on mute.
Thank you. Yeah, I was on mute. The facilities, Jeff, are just spectacular. I don't think I've ever seen quite anything like it, other than maybe down in Florida with that small little organization called IMG.
Yeah, yeah, we refer to them as the little program down south. Um, but yeah, I mean, it's a state of the art, world class facility. There's over 700,000 square feet of indoor training space. It's originally was on 150 acres, and our new ownership group has expanded to over 500 acres of property. And it was this great world class facility that was built, and now we have the management team and the strategic vision and philosophies to now run with that and match the state of the art facility with the state of the art programming that we're putting together between academy, camps, and events.
And you're also extremely innovative. I mean, you've got esports, which I mean, I think you're the first academy to integrate esports. And I Candace, when she took me on the tour, she showed me where you have drone racing. I mean, that's amazing.
Our two kind of cutting edge programs is we have esports as an academy program, and that's kind of paired with the drone racing, and then we offer a lot of camp opportunities for learning more about the esports world, learning more about how to fly drones, and we're cutting edge in terms of what we're trying to teach our kids and experience. Have our kids experience different levels of new technologies. We do some drone meetups. I think just last week we had like the number 1 and the number 3 and the number 5 world ranked drone racers in our facility, doing a session, doing a seminar, and flying around our space.
Wow. The drone world. I was just reading where Walmart's going to start delivering using drones. So maybe
I mean, we're our management team from from an academic standpoint is so far ahead of the curve. That once we get into the drone space, there's going to be a massive amount of job opportunities, career opportunities in in drone racing. So our theory is, if we create a cutting edge program where, we're teaching kids in high school how to build, engineer, develop, and fly drones, they're going to be, putting themselves ahead of the curve, when it comes to careers.
Should NASCAR be concerned?
Yeah, exactly. That'll be the next thing is, indoor racetrack.
Right. Well, the other thing you might want to talk about is the 4 pillars, which I think really differentiates and separates you from a lot of other academies. That the 4 pillars. Could you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I mean so we consider the four pillars as the foundation of Spire and its academy. The 4 pillars were created by our managing directors, Ted Meekma, Rich Odell, and Dr. Kate Reedy, who all were 25 plus year people that basically originally founded and started IMG. And so the pillars itself is your major. So the first pillar is the major, and which is basically the sport that you're dedicated your time and effort and energy into. So part of that major is it's a 4-hour a day focus on that specific sport. Right now we have men's and women's basketball, lacrosse, wrestling, soccer, swimming and diving, and track and field. So those are what we consider the major, and it's 4 hours of training that is sports specific. The second pillar is the academic pillar. And basically it's modeled after 5 to 6 hours of high level academics. We have a full school on campus in person. It's state of the art, cutting edge. Candace really likes it because it's kind of modeled after Stanford a little bit. So it's project-based learning, small ratios between students and teachers. All the furniture is movable to create different types of groups and learning pods in the space. Right now, it's capacity up to about 300 students, and the big thing with that is, even though we're so small, we have all of our teachers are degreed, mastered, doctorate, and they have a lot of versatility in what they teach. So we offer 8 to 9 AP classes. So we're striving towards being able to be viewed as high academic. We have a kid going to Boston University, a basketball player. We have a pole vaulter going to High Point University, a swimmer going to Pepperdine, and a long distance runner going to George Mason. So high academic institutions is where we're able to prepare our kids on. The third and fourth pillars are kind of what we kind of see us as our big differentiators, and that's personal skill development. So in the personal skill development pillar, it focuses on really developing all different types of important skills that our student athletes encounter every day. And so basically we have what we call a word of the week. It could be discipline, hard work, energy, and that word is spread throughout the academy, throughout the coaches, teachers, performance, and you're supposed to try to build that word into what you're teaching that day, whether it's, like I said, energy, hard work, dedication, adversity, that sort of thing. And all of our student athletes, meet with their housing units every Sunday night to talk about kind of what that word means to them, how they can incorporate it into their daily lives. And it's supposed to build this personal skill development. Along with that is different types of creative classes that teach kids about NIL, teach kids how to speak intellectually, interview, deal with media, how to act on social media. So really for kids to understand the importance of, we're not only developing them in the classroom and in their specific sport, but, we have a vested interest in, creating strong, kids that have really strong personal skills, saying hello to everybody in the building, knowing all your classmates, teachers, coaches of other sports, cafeteria workers' names, having that personal relationship. And we feel that that's the type of culture that we're kind of instilling. The last piece is, do you have any questions about the first three pillars? Then the last one is kind of the coolest one, and that's career development. So we kind of take this approach as, yes, we have the capabilities to produce professional athletes between our facilities, our training, our programming, but we want to be able to focus on our athletes on what's next, in terms of, if the ball stops bouncing, you're not, you stop swimming, you stop running, injuries. What types of career exploration are you doing in high school to make sure that when you're recruiting and you're getting recruited, you have total synergy? So, you're not going to get a scholarship in a program that doesn't have a mechanical engineering degree that you want to get into. So we really do a good job of career development, exploring the what's next for our student athletes outside of sport. It's an infinite amount, a small percentage of people, make it professionally. And then even at the college level, Division I, Division II, Division III. So we try to prepare the kids on what's next. With that, we do kind of monthly seminars for our student athletes where we invite local professionals to come in, whether a lawyer, a doctor, salesperson, marketing specialist, engineer that comes in and speaks to the kids about different types of careers.
It sounds like a program. I wish you had Spire, back in 1975 when I was a freshman in high school. I would have loved to have attended. I saw your swimming pool, which Candace was telling me it's one of the fastest swimming pools in the world, and the track and field. I ran track. It's to look at that facility. It kind of reminded me when I was in Berlin and I saw, the 1936 Olympic Stadium in Berlin, and your stadium at Spire brought back that memory. So, and that's just, and then the basketball courts, which, you can play volleyball there. I mean, it's off the charts, and I love what your 4-pillar program's all about, and developing the whole student athlete and preparing them. As you said, Jeff, the chances of someone becoming an NBA star or an NFL player or Major League Baseball, whatever the sport is, it's very difficult. But preparing them for life beyond the sports world, and then also know that there's opportunities in the sports world. You don't have to be an athlete; you can be a coach or an administrator like yourself. I mean, you're the director of basketball and what you're doing at Spire. So. As I shared with you in the tips with OnTheDot, you get the last word. And, hopefully there's a lot of parents out there that are going to listen to this. There's student athletes out there that are listening and want to learn more. So where do you, if they want to get involved, I put a little ticker tape down there, a link to your camps, spireinstitute.org/camps. But you get the last word, and again, take as long as you want. There's no time limit to our show. We don't break for commercials. So
yeah, no, I just think it's important to get our brand out there, and let people know what truly is happening at Spire. We're in enormous growth mode. And basically the way that we go about our business is professional, cutting edge. Strategic. The way that we treat all of our programs is, this is the big differentiation that, all of our, former IMG employees say is that, there was a lot of outside the box thinking that happened at IMG. But at Spire, there is no box. When it comes to what we want to do, how we want to do it, if it makes sense, and how we can be successful. So, the biggest message that I could, get out there is we have a variety of events, large scale, medium scale, small scale, to come experience, the facility. We offer a wide variety of all types of camps and clinics across all of our sports that are geared towards all different ages, boys, girls, men, women, all different sports. The biggest thing that we offer is the boarding option, that you come and you are able to stay on campus for an extended period of time for your camp. And then what we do with all of our camps is we give them a little taste of what they can get, to the academy. And that's kind of the top of what we try to, recruit and market to is our academy. So our camps are for all ages, all skill levels. You can go to spireinstitute.org and do a virtual tour of our facility. But, the goal is that the more people we get into the facility, the more our events will grow, the more our camps will grow, and the more our academy will grow. Because we have some really, really aggressive, projections that we're on track with, and we have a great management team. We're going to be here for years to come and grow. And, just walking through the place is an experience of its own. I think, Candace always says that, her first time here was, she viewed this as kind of a combination of, her professional career and Stanford. I think those are two, good organizations to compare our space to. So it is kind of like a little mini Disney World in the north, in the Northeast Midwest area. So I suggest everybody to check us out. Look at our website, come visit. We got some great attractions around here, and come experience the Spire way.